a game that came up a little bit of impromptu. We were actually looking at cast Henderless versus Kane, old winner of Kane and Elhaim. But we got the invite, it looks like, to SaroVati and Scarlett. So in the round of 8, first quarterfinal up here at the top left side of the map, representing representing Acer, we have Scarlett. She's not playing Protoss today. What are you doing? That's the one thing I'm hoping it was Scarlett. I was hoping she was gonna play Protoss. I was like, come on, PvP. And that's the thing SaroVati actually asked her as well. Alright, so over here at the top right side of the map, representing Flipside Gaming, we have SaroVati. Now, for those that don't know, kind of haven't been paying attention to IEM maybe as close as a lot of us, but you would know that one, Scarlett, she is qualified already. Well, she got invited to stage 2 qualifiers, so she's already, I would say, in a decent position to make it to IEM Toronto. But SaroVati, the other day, he ran an absolute just pain train of Protoss all the way to stage 2 as well. He absolutely destroyed the North American scene when he played in the Stage 1 qualifier. He played really well, was very efficient. I think played every single matchup as well. Was never, kind of limited to, say, PvZ, PvP, PvT, or he hit all 3 and dominated and destroyed all of them. So we'll see how well he matches up against Scarlett. Scarlett going to be opening up, of course, pool hatch. SaroVati going to keep tabs on that third base location. Damn, that's the thing I was really hoping. I was hoping Scarlett, she was actually going to play Protoss. I guess she doesn't feel comfortable enough just yet to show it off full time, but it is a scary thought to think about. The fact that right now, from what I've seen or from what I've heard, she is a GM there on KR. She's got a very positive win record. And man, the day that she feels comfortable enough to start showing it off a little bit more, you don't know what you're going to have to prepare for. And that's a scary thought right there. Again, one race, that's fine. You're playing somebody like Balloon Random, you can maybe get a little bit more of a general build for somebody, but somebody that's really, really good with 2 races like that, watch out. You gotta watch out. Alright, so Lings, of course, are going to come up, realize that it is a full wall off right now. Going to get the Zealot out first of all. In the back, dropping that Cyber Core as well. I mean, again, those 2 Lings wouldn't have been able to really get too much damage. They would have just kind of been a little bit of a nuisance, a little bit of a distraction. But due to the full wall off, they're not going to have an opportunity to actually do anything in terms of getting in there. So Zealot's going to pop out and would have been safe either way. Now, due to the full wall off, eventually SaroVati does give away a little bit of information that he will eventually have to break out of his own rocks, I feel like, unless he wants to break down his own pylon. I think it would be a little bit more worth his time to break down the rocks. And that would be his way of escape. So that could either mean that he's going to be looking for a very heavy, I would say, tech build up to this, get very heavy worker count, and then all of a sudden just drop a lot of gates. And he's shown that off. He doesn't mind doing that versus Zergs. He doesn't mind 7-8 gating. Doesn't mind going blink on him. So we'll see what he decides to do. And you can see already he's starting to break down the rocks a little by little. He's got a cannon up here as well, and he could continue the wall along the way over here towards the south side. We see the Stargate coming out from him. Okay, well, Stargate, of course, is a very formidable playstyle. Pretty efficient way of harassing your opponent and kind of putting them under a little bit more duress. Eventually, though, a lot of Zergs, I feel like, have come to that point in time where they're going to anyways put down Spore Crawlers, just in case. I mean, it covers a lot of things. You got to watch. It takes care of potential Phoenixes, Oracles, DTs, Void Rays, the whole 9 yards, really, when it comes to Spore Crawlers. They take care of a lot, so it is worth to get them in every base for the most part. Unless you're actually planning to go all in yourself, then you probably should get them. Scarlett, she's going to be droning up here. Let me make sure that I actually have the right overlay on. There we go. I just had a panic moment. Usually I have the webcam on, and the webcam signal will go off when I switch over to the scene in game. But today, since I have the webcam off on the mainstream as well, I kind of get a little bit paranoid. I'm just to make sure. I'm like, I don't want anybody to miss the games, man. That'd be just terrible. That'd be awful. SaroVati dropping the third base. SaroVati did do this quite a bit also as well. I mean, as much as he showed aggressive play, he does not mind at all going for the third base play, going for three base style of any sort. Now he's going to come in here, going to try to get a little bit of damage done. Spore Caller, like I said, man, there to greet him. Did he even get one kill with that Oracle? Yeah, he did. Okay, so he got one. But again, with that investment of going into the Stargate, you really want to try to get a little bit more. Scarlett, she spots the third base getting plopped down by SaroVati. The thing is, the Oracle's going to have to really micro really well, and right now there's no gas over here on the left side, so this Spore Crawler actually is very centered in terms of defending everything overall. Usually the Oracle at this point is going to be mainly used to just double check, make sure if there's any drones along the edges that it can pick off. If you can't pick off anything along the edges, most likely it just will gather up energy and, you know, keep tossing those keep tossing the Revelation spells. I keep getting Envision and Revelation really mixed up every single time. So just continually scouting off. Scarlett dropping to fourth base right now over here at the bottom left side, or actually middle of the map. Twilight Council behind all of this. I mean, hell, the Twilight Council multiple uses. So you could drop the Templar Archive, get the bonus upgrades, of course. Pretty a necessity. Necessity in my book. Actually, the one thing I'm interested to see is if SaroVati would have thought about maybe making a little bit of a better wall off across the left side over here. Because I have seen that too before. Just is there a Protoss player that will just wall off this whole end over here, just completely gated up through here, pylon canning, and that way they don't have to worry about that left flank. They could just take anything up front over here on this side of the map. We take a look at tech on a big map like this. At least for a Protoss player, I imagine you want to try to have an overall general sense of a composition that's going to be formidable to fight in any location. It is a very open map. That's the thing you got to realize. For Zerg players, this is a very I want to say a very glorious map and very nice because there's a lot of area to fight in open area. There's a lot of area that you could keep track of. If you have good creep spread and good overlord spreading and just general good scouting, you're going to be always in, I feel like, in a fairly good position. The biggest threats are going to come in terms of warp prisms. So because of the big airspace, because of the big map coverage, if you don't spot the warp prism, it can be a little bit dangerous. You know, something that just kind of like swoops in and you get a nice little run by of zealots. But you can see Scarlett, she's starting to develop her game forward. She's now bringing over defense. Actually, snipes down the Oracle. Nice job right there. That Oracle is definitely a nuisance. Now, what that does by sniping the Oracle, you took away a pretty important unit. I consider the Oracle, if you keep it alive in the mid to late stages, it's a very important unit because you could really keep some really good tabs on the army, keep good tabs on where your opponent's at, the composition that they're holding. Scarlett, she's going to be going into Mutalisks as well. If you guys saw, the Spire just finished up. We have Mutas underway, +1 attack, +1 melee as well. You know, with this type of a composition right now, with Lings, the Hydras, and the help of the Mutas, I feel like she could technically overwhelm. Blink is just finishing up, +2 is not done just yet, but now another reinforcing set of Stalkers is coming on through. I think she has enough, she just has to position herself so well. If anything, just bait out SaroVati to come down here into the low ground on top of creep. And I think SaroVati is going to just have to automatically recall. I think that's going to be the case, yeah, no, you could already see. Force fields dropping, bringing everything back, trying to get as, I guess, many pickoffs as he can before he'll decide to recall. Wow, they're actually trying to really fight this out. All force fields are dropped. I don't think there's really anything left, and this army is going to go down if he doesn't recall. He needs to recall right now. Muta's coming in. Oh, barely. Just not in time, man. If that Mothership Core got sniped, I would have called game right then and there. But the problem is there's a huge influx of units. I think she could technically start just heading on across the map and continue doing some more harassment. Pylon gets taken out. She could also stay patient because as well, that's another thing with this map. Mutas are very strong. You're very split up as a Protoss player across all of your bases, so when you're at your third, it is going to take a while to get over to your other base. And this really sucks right now because we watch and see the Mutas over there at the natural are going to do quite a bit of damage. You see the workers are probably going to have to get pulled off. Meanwhile, on the other side, the main army does have to take notice of the main army of Scarlet's right now. Link's coming in and trying to support. Charge lots are Zealot's actually not even charged. I don't think they have charge yet. No, Zealot's just coming on forward, and now it's Hydras versus Stalkers. We'll see how well she starts trading. She's starting to get a very significant supply lead. 177, 103. SaroVati dropping down lower and lower. The Mutas break down the Archon, and now it's just Stalkers left. You're gonna have to have some magnificent micro and macro as well to be able to reinforce yourself at this point. And Just kind of watching the rest of these units as they continue falling. I feel like this probably is going to be game for Scarlet. She already has the 5th hatch down here. She's of course got the 4th hatch mining the gas, so she's got a very very strong econ and just has surplus at this point of gas and resources. So the rest of the units begin to fall. Zelts, of course, can only walk up without charge. Can only be so much of a help, and there we go. GG, game number 1 going to be going to Scarlet. We'll be heading into game number 2 momentarily. Hang tight.